All right, so it's been a while. I've been kind of busy. I had to get my GM back. Uh, Man, and Doom was kicking my ass. But I'm gonna try to start making videos again, and I think I'm gonna do a bunch of CA guides. That kind of sounds like what I'd like to do. This one today is for the uh, Perfect Doom CA. Uh, I had nightmares about this CA for like 4 days. It was brutal. But I did learn a few things that really help to make it consistent. And like once you get these couple things down, it's not really a big deal once you know it. But it does require you to do the boss a little bit differently. Otherwise, you can just kind of get caught in mistakes that are not really your fault. There's a surprising amount of RNG involved in this perfect CA, which I really don't like, but it is doable, and with the right tactics, you can mitigate a lot of that RNG factor. Um, yeah, so if you are also suffering from chronic nightmares and lack of sleep and intrusive thoughts about the doom of Mocajito, then hopefully this guide can help. So let's head over there. Okay, so we're in the Doom's Chamber. Disregard these rocks. I just killed the first wave so I could do some yapping. There's a couple main things that I've found that are very helpful for doing the perfect Doom CA. Three main things, but then there's like some extra shit too. But the first main thing is to always start a wave diagonal. So if you see on my screen, I have these these lines here, and these are just to help me see like the cardinal directions. And whenever I'm in like a corner like this, I know that I'm safe because how the acid works is Doom picks a side. So let's say, wait, let me join a party here so I can ping. Um, 1 second. Yeah, okay. So Doom will always pick one of these cardinal directions and he will spit out acid starting at wave 3. Okay, and it's random. So if you're standing, say right here, he picks my side, acid comes out, it can just land right on you, and that'll fail you. So the best way to avoid that, obviously, is to be in a diagonal corner because acid will not come out at you from there. So that's tip number one. Okay. The second tip, and debatably the hardest part about the CA, is the melee grubs. Okay, we need to talk about that because no grubs can get to them. And you also can't take damage from exploding the grubs. And sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on. There's acid, there's fallen rocks on you, and you've got to melee them at the right time and then step away before the explosion does damage to you or you fail the CA. Okay, so obviously, if there's like, say, a grub's coming right here, right? There's no acid over by me. I can just kill it normally, right? I can pull out the Emberlight, wait till it gets on top of Doom, and then give it a smack, okay? Sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes there's acid over here. Sometimes it drops it in the middle of the acid. So what you can do sometimes, it doesn't always work, but it works most of the time. If you use a halberd, okay, you can use a Chally, you can use a Nox halberd, and this gives you an extra range, of course. So, and you can kill the melee grubs with that. It's almost as fast. It's kind of annoying because it doesn't give you the auto cooldown. But when you're hitting the grubs, it does. It just right after you can't hit Doom with it. But you can hit the melee grubs over the acid with a Chally. Okay, so it's kind of weird to get used to, but it helps a lot, especially in the later waves when there's a lot of stuff going on, because you also don't have to worry about the grub explosion. So it gets you to attack a grub over the acid, and you don't have to worry about moving because you're more than a tile away. So that's a big one and a big help. And the third most important thing, obviously, when it gets to wave 8, Doom is at his full potential. And that's kind of when the fight's the hardest too, to avoid damage, because there's the double boulders, right? And the shadows are random where the rocks are going to land. But there's some tech you can do. I like to do I don't know if it has a name, but it's kind of like it's like a step under for the shadows. So right when the first boulder explodes, right, there's the shadows that come down and you can see them. So you'd step on a clear tile. And then right when the second boulder pops, you're going to go and stand on a shadow from the first boulder. Okay, and if you do that, the second boulder, the falling rocks, cannot land on the same tiles as the first boulder did. Okay, that's the only part that's not random. You could run more than 5 tiles away, but I found that very inconsistent, to be honest, and kind of hard to do, especially if there's like a melee punish at the same time, right? So this works way better. You wait for the first boulder to explode, see the shadows, dodge the shadows, and then right when the second one pops, you step onto a shadow of the first boulder, and then you're automatically safe, okay? For an example, here's what that looks like. Super slowed down. Hopefully it helps. And that gives you a lot of leeway, and it makes it very, very, very consistent to not take any damage from the falling debris. That's the part that I found the hardest for Wave 8, was the falling debris. Some extra things you can do is make sure you're using your spec at the right time. Okay, that's very important because you can skip most of the orb phases. And also making sure that you have your boulders set up. Sometimes it's worth it to wait to proc the shield phase, especially on waves like 7 and 8. It's worth it to wait. So you get your boulders down, and then you can skip the orb phase more than likely, okay? Because, I mean, let's be honest, if you have to do orb phase, it's not looking great. You can mess that up. All you need to do is step on one tile of acid, get hit by one falling rock shadow. It's just not good, okay? So you want to try to avoid that if possible to mitigate the randomness of this CA. So plugins as well too. I like to use a couple main ones. Let me pull these up here right now. Plugin number one, where did it go? The blindfold plugin, okay? This plugin, watch my screen, watch what this does. My ground is blue now, okay? I never used this plugin until I went for the CA. I honestly don't like how it looks all that much, but in this boss it helps immensely, okay? Because it really makes the shadows from the falling rebels stick out a lot more. And these are kind of my settings. You need it to be like this so you can see the boss and his attacks. Show UI needs to be checked on, scenery on, entities on, boom. Okay, another thing in combination with that is the ground object hider plugin. Okay, that needs to be on as well because that allows you to hide the rocks and stuff that are on the ground naturally in the scenery. An important thing to do is set a hotkey for to auto hide, so you don't have to find IDs of like the ground items because those are a pain in the ass to find. I promise you, they're very difficult to find, very obscure information. So you want to set a hotkey here. So whenever you're holding, for me, numpad, I can hold numpad and then simply click on an object on the ground and it disappears. Really cool. But those are the two main ones that I like to use for this CA specifically. Very helpful, and you need both of them for it to work fully. So please don't mind the blue ground. But with that being said, let's get into a kill and see if we can do it. I'm gonna mess it up. All right, so first things first, make sure you're pre-potted, and then let's go in. I always like to start with a ZCB. It doesn't have to be a ZCB though. You can use like the Chally spec's good too. Like you can totally get away with that for melee punishes. But you only want to start with a ZCB on the first like 4 waves. After that, you don't want to because you want to make sure you're sending it when he's close to 75%. That way you can get the most damage on car phase and hopefully skip the orb phase. Gives you the best chance of doing that. Yes, as you can see, the blue floor definitely helps identify just where those falling rocks are coming down. And you don't really have to worry about the acid at all. You won't start spitting it out until wave 3 you start spitting it out. So before that, just be chilling. I forgot to do my death charge. Whoops. Let's keep going. Can I get a random ruby? No. Okay. Oh, this might work out. Oh, I still forgot to do that charge. Whatever. I'm washed, guys. I'm washed as fuck. I've also found, like, having all your audio settings turned up on this boss is very helpful, especially when he starts dropping when, like, multiple attacks are coming at you from the rocks. It's really helpful to hear that sound cue when they hit you, so you know when to swap. Once you're used to it, like, you kind of just can feel the timing of it, but before that, it's rather important, I'd say. The hardest waves for the Perfect Doom CA, easily, are waves 5 and 8. The rest of them are kind of whatever. The reason wave 5 is so difficult is because when he does carve phase, right, it's the first wave where he does carve phase, but when he does it, he does not do 3 dashes. He does 2. Okay, and because of that, you are forced, pretty much, unless you get extremely lucky, you're forced to do an orb phase after that, because there's just not enough time to do enough damage and kill him before the carve phase is over. Alright, so let's go to wave 3. This is where the acid starts coming out, so we're going to go to a diagonal quadrant. Start with the ruby. See, he chose to spit out acid to the east, so we just know we can't attack him with melee from that quadrant, preferably not with anything from that quadrant, because he can spit it pretty far, like as you can see, all the way out here. I'm pretty sure he can go to like here maybe, like 4 or 5 tiles back. It's crazy. Might even be farther than that, I'm not really positive. But generally you just don't want to be in that quadrant at all. Make sure you stay on top of the grubs, very important. Sometimes it's better to risk it, like in the later waves, if he's transitioning to carve phase, because they do despawn if they don't get to him in time. Oh my god, this scorching bows are ripping right now. It's kind of crazy. But yep, so far so good. Play it safe. Always make sure you pop these, what are they called? The volatile earths at the right time. It's very helpful too to do a control walk. When the orb is moving, you can just kind of, you know, push control, left click, and your character walks instead of runs. A lot of people don't know that, surprisingly. That is very helpful. It's best not to greed hits during an orb phase, because if you fall behind or anything, you know, it's very easy to fuck it up. So you don't want to fall behind the orb, and you want to make sure you get your prayers right too. Let's see here. It looks like we're going to run out of divine, so I'm just going to repot everything, and then we're going to go to wave 4. This is kind of the last wave you want to open with a ZCB if you have it. And again, if you don't have a ZCB, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. You can use a Chally as the spec. Just make sure you do it for melee punishes. Generally, I think you have, you saw there, I stepped on a shadow and I moved. I think you have like 2 ticks. You can go like boom, boom, you know, and you have time to get off the shadow. But if I didn't move off that shadow right after I clicked on it, then I would have gotten hit by the falling rock. I normally just try to click like 2 tiles away. Most of the time it's safe. Sometimes it's not, but you just have to react. Okay, so there's a lot of grubs out. Pop that one, and we're gonna kill these. Gotta prioritize those. Melee punish. As you can see here, we saw that he started spitting out acid to the south. So we just move to a different side, right? There we go. We stepped off the shadow again. I found it's always better, like if a grub comes out, just pop it right away. You never know when you're not going to be able to. If you saw what I did there too, I don't stand on the orb most of the time, like where it's going to pop out. I like to stand a little bit away from where the orb's going to start, because it allows you to just prayer, and then you wait as the orb comes to you. And then normally when it gets to you, it's like perfect timing. So, say the flare's like right, the flare's going to spawn like right here, right? And I popped one over here. So I pop one over there. I'm waiting. He's about to do his thing, right, where he does the attacks. And then, so I shoot this flare, but I don't run over here. I don't run right next to it. Sometimes I do, but not always. Most of the time I like to be like right here, kind of in the middle. And, you know, because sometimes there's a boulder popping too, and those attacks are coming. So I can just wait right here. So instead of trying to follow the orb from the start, I wait right here, do the prayer, and by the time he's about to slam the ground, the orb has reached me, and then we can continue from there. I don't think a lot of people do that. It's just something I do. I find it helpful most of the time. But all right, let's go wave 5. So we are not going to open ZCB here. Make sure we get off this acid. We're going to stay over in the corner. Pick this quadrant way over here. Okay, so he's shooting acid south again. We're going to pop these guys really quick. Okay. So, as I said, wave 5 is sort of the hardest, besides wave 8, because of the less dashes. Also, too, like, sometimes I kind of got lucky here with the grub spawning, because they can spawn on any of the sides, right? But usually, I have not been able to confirm this. This is just something that I was personally, like, kind of testing a little bit. They will not spawn further than 1 quadrant away from you. Because I know they changed it, like a week after Doom came out. They changed it so that the grubs spawn closer to you. So I think if you're here, the furthest it can spawn is like over here. If you're here, it can spawn like here or here. It's pretty interesting. As you can see here, we're going to have to do an orb. We got saved by the, oh, fucked up. Popped the orb too soon. It's okay. We're going to continue and see the other tech. You'll have a lot of failures on wave 5 if you're like me. It's really annoying. Also, if you don't have a T-bow, the blowpipe during car phase is phenomenal. Does a shit ton of damage, okay? And then we're going to go to wave 6 here, and I have kind of unique tiles. I'm going to kind of show you what I do. I'll drop my tiles in the description as well. And we're going to see if we can do the rest perfect. I know I messed up that orb timing, but this is a learning video, right? So we will try our best to show everything. Okay, wave 6. Most people know that rock blocking can only work on the north and east side. These tiles here just show me, like all my white tiles show me if I'm running to the boss, which ones will keep me in 2 tile range for the Chally. So I like to melee punish with the Chally going from wave 6 on. Okay, I should have waited there for a second boulder, but it's alright. Wasn't paying attention to his health. Okay, we're gonna move over here now, because we saw a melee grub coming. We cannot let any grubs in. We're gonna move back. He's getting low. We're gonna pre-pop those ones because they're a little too close for comfort. Do that. Always spot where you're going next. We're gonna drag him straight this way. Diagonal. He's dead. Okay. As you can see there, that worked out perfectly fine. But let me explain these a little bit better. So the tiles I use is this for a rock block, okay? And then these white lines here, or these white boxes, I know that if I dodge a shadow and say I go here, right? There's no shadow here from a falling rock, or here, or even here. I know that if I swap to a Chally for a melee punish, I can click on the boss, click on Doom, and I get dragged to this row. So here's Doom, and I can hit him with the Chally. And I'm not in melee range of him. So it's just a way for me to keep track. Like if I click from here even, see how it just hops on those files, just so I can visually see, because sometimes I mess that up. So normally what I do, first rock goes right here where I'm standing. This will stop the shockwave from hitting any other rocks. And then I like to go down here, and I like to use this spot right here as well for my second rock. And so once it's here, it's going to be safe after the first shockwave, but also it allows me to go like behind it right here. So for example, go here, shooting it, shooting it, shooting it. Doom resets, he's about to move, and I go stand like right here, and then Doom will come down here, and he will be like this. I go behind this rock right here, and then normally there's like another rock here or something, but I just take a step like down like this. He goes over here somewhere. I go behind the next rock. It's very nice too when it comes to wave 8. If I use this tile here, and then he sends the double rocks, I can wait right here. And right before the second boulder's about to pop, you can click on him for the melee punish. I'll get dragged to like right, where is it? Right here. And it'll hit him, but it will place a boulder right here and right here. So for the second ground slam, you get behind it in between those two rocks. And then for the third one, you just take a step down like this, and then you go up behind this boulder up here. And that one's always protected from the first boulder right here. But also, I really don't like to stand far back on wave 8 for the perfect one. It's very inconsistent. So honestly, what I like to do, and I recommend this for perfect Doom, is you actually start the wave in melee range of him, so with a Chally like one tile away, and this allows you to instantly do your melee punish and then do the step under shadow tech that I'm going to be showing in a second. So let's repot up here because I'm talking so much. My stats are running out. Okay, let's go wave 7. I'm gonna go over here too because I see that there's a bunch of acid on the north side. So, oh, whoops. Don't want to be on the north side of him. Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. See that? I knew I could run in fine. It's a little sus because there was acid over there, right? See a melee grub coming. Need to get that melee grub. Be very conscious of everything you're clicking here. We're gonna drag him down to the second spot. Stand right here. Step right here. Just like that. Dead. Okay. So, as you can see, it's getting a little sus in terms of the acid. So I don't like to use this X either for a boulder placement on wave 8 because, as you can see, there's a lot of acid over here. And technically, you know, if I do this one, I could do this one because I would skip over that acid. I'd go here, skip over that one. I'd be right here, and I'd be able to melee him with the Charlie. So it's still safe to follow that line. If there were an acid here, for example, or if there was an acid like here, I would go, I would take one step here and then go into the melee punish because I see this one is open. I feel like I'm talking too much. But we're not going to do that method at all. Actually, what we're going to do is start on these purple tiles. There's 4 of them. I use some of these other ones for deeper delves because there gets to be a lot of acid. But for this wave, we're just going to start right here. And then we're going to Chally if there's a melee punish. And hopefully by then, there's only one boulder that comes out, okay? So we're trying to phase him very quick at first because it gets a little hectic. And the second melee punish can be a little sus, depending on where he's throwing acid. So we want to try to phase him after one boulder gets popped, preferably... no, actually, preferably you want 1 to be popped. You don't want 0 to be popped, and you don't want more than 1 to be popped. But so we're going to go here for a melee punish, hit him, and then that is pretty much it. And then when he goes into car phase, we can still use these, like this row here, to pull him, and then the boulder we can stand behind right here and we're safe. Okay, so let's just show that really quick and get down to it. We also really want to make sure that we're getting our ZCB spec off at the right time. Okay. Oh, that's weird. My my health is like really low and my brews and huh? Bro, dude, Jagex gotta fix this fucking game, dude. What the fuck? That's so weird. It must be a bug. Let's try wave 8 now. Okay. So we're gonna go and use this purple square here. And yeah. Huh? No, of course I did it first try. Yeah, I would never lie to you, baby. G gaslighting? Sounds like a made-up word. Are you sure? Oh man, I should not be allowed in public. All right, let's go down to wave 8. And we're going to try to use a purple square. We're going to try to use this one over here. Why not? Okay, so no melee punish here. Definitely try to use the step under. We want to phase him here because, okay, not a melee punish again. Rub's getting close. Gonna pop that. Oh my gosh, die. Typical. Okay. So as you can see, even though that was very hectic and not ideal, we still managed. And oh my god. Four boulders, then I mess up on the easy part. GM, by the way. All right, so you know what they say. First time's the charm. People who say third time's the charm are just bad at the game. So let's do wave 8 here. Make sure we are potted. Let me message these people back. Let's fucking go. Also, fuck the purple squares, dude. I'm not using that shit. Our users are normal squares here. We'll use our other tiles. Change my mind. Okay, no melee punish. Go over to our other square here. Perfect. So you can use those tiles too. They're just it's a little sus with the melee tiles, with the melee punishes. Some people prefer to do the Perfect Doom far back like that. Some people prefer to do it in the close purple tiles. I think I did mine actually with the purple tiles the first time. Risk it for the biscuit. That grub's not gonna get there. Nice. But I'm just so much more used to doing it this way that it's probably better now for me. Looks like we are going to have to do orbs more than likely. Unless I fucking hit big here. Okay, never mind. And that's how you do wave 8. The step unders obviously are the most important part. Definitely got to do that. And if you do, then you're golden. Okay, so as you can tell by the fact of it being dark outside, that video took longer to make than I'd like to admit. But got to cover everything that I wanted, and I really hope that this helps some people do the Perfect Doom. It was a real pain in the ass for me. Like, I'm not kidding you. It took like a week for me to do this CA, and I was only doing that like when I was playing RuneScape. It was driving me a little loco. Yeah, but anyways, thanks for watching. I plan to upload more videos soon, probably more CA guides. But that's it. Thanks, guys. Good luck.